So I was on Twitter and I was reading up on Nate Parker because he's trending. And the reason why he's trending is because 17 years ago, he had a rape allegation. And the reason why I wanted to do this video is because what I found that is that black people, even even today, even though we know about the history of this country, even though we know about the ramifications of jumping the gun, we are still so gullible to the instruments of white supremacy. And white supremacy has many instruments. One of them is the legal system. One of them is using the media to dig up old things that happened in order to make a certain person have their people turn on them. And so when you look at the Nate Parker situation, Nate Parker, 17 years ago, was convicted of, or not convicted, was charged with rape. And I think that's very important. He was charged with rape. But not only was he charged with rape, he was acquitted of rape. So by the justice system standard, he is innocent. They say innocent until proven guilty. The state could not prove him guilty. He was found innocent, okay? Despite all of that, we live in a really weird and different world where it doesn't matter if you're innocent of rape. It doesn't matter if you are proven innocent of rape. The fact that you're accused of rape in this weird society where feminism has taken us into a whole new direction, it doesn't matter if you didn't do it. The fact that you're accused of rape means that all of a sudden you're an enemy of the society, you're an enemy of the media, you're an enemy of all people. And the thing that drives me nuts is when I see black people, black women in particular, and even more particular, black feminists, subscribe to these notions that the fact that you're accused of rape means that you are automatically a rapist. So let's think about this for a second. Now, black people, we have a very long history in this country. And we have a very long history in this country of the justice system being used against us. So, regardless of I'm not saying that I know that Nate did not do that. I can't say that. I mean, no one can say that we know or we didn't know or we think unless you were there, you don't know anything. I'm not saying that all the black men who have been accused of rape have not done certain things. But what I do know is that in America, rape allegations were used many times against black men. From the early days, that was the main reason where you see all these lynchings happening. That was the main reason, because they were accused of rape. You're accused of rape, you're automatically guilty in the eyes of white supremacy. If you're a black man, because you are seen as being hypersexualized or you're seen as being a sexual predator, you're automatically made to be a rapist. So it doesn't matter if, if most of the black men who were lynched historically did not rape white women. It doesn't matter. In the eyes of white supremacy, the fact that you are black, the fact that you have the image of a sexual predator, the fact that you are viewed as an animal, you're viewed as this hypersexual being, you're already guilty. So what drives me nuts is the fact that black women and black feminists, we know this history. Ain't no way you don't know this history. Okay, I know that you know the same history that I know. Yet you're so willing to see a black man accused of raping a woman. I don't know if she's white or black, but regardless, accused of raping a woman. And I say white supremacy as far as the institutions of America. The media is a white supremacist institution. Hollywood is a white supremacist institution. You see that this rape allegation is being brought up against this man. And you are so willing to believe in it. Or you're so willing to be okay with, even if it didn't happen, with him being crucified for it. You're so willing to let this man have a public lynching. And that's crazy to me. And this is the reason why I can't get with a lot of people who associate with different ideologies, feminism, different things, because at the end of the day, you have to understand, before you're white, before you're black, I'm sorry, not before you're white and black, before you're Christian, before you're Muslim, before you're a feminist, before you're any group in America, you are viewed as black. Period. Before you're a woman, okay, you are viewed as black. If you were viewed as a woman before you were viewed as black, you wouldn't be suffering the same things that all black people suffer. So before everything, you're black. And because you're black, before you're everything else, you have to first look at what is the racial context. If you don't understand the difference between how the media will treat a black man accused of something and a white man, look at all of the allegations against white men in Hollywood. Johnny Depp has all these abuse allegations against him. There's even a video of him going off on his wife. But I don't see anywhere as close to as the outrage as someone like Ray Rice, as many of the black men who were accused or found guilty of domestic violence. Yet Johnny Depp, and I'm sure that he will work again, he doesn't have to deal with that. And you, as a black feminist, are going to look at that difference and say, well, I'm still going to accuse the black man. I mean, David Bowie, he died recently. He had been accused of sexual abuse. Of course, Nicolas Cage has been accused of, I believe, domestic violence. All these white men in Hollywood, there's so many who have been convicted, who have been accused of things, and they don't have to suffer the same way that a black man suffered. So you, as a black woman, are going to buy into this notion that because you're black and because you're accused of something, it's okay because guess what? I'm a woman first. That's crazy to me. So I'm just saying, black feminists, again, I don't care what you believe. Me personally, of course, I agree with a lot of feminism, but I will never identify as anything first except for black. Before everything else, the world sees me as black. So I have to know that before any other things are at play, the fact that I'm a black woman is what's at play first. And the fact that Nate Parker, so conveniently, this is the thing that gets me the worst, because Nate Parker has been in a lot of movies since this rape allegation. He's been in Red Tails. He did that Spike Lee movie, Red Hook Summer. Of course, The Great Debaters. He's been in all these movies in that span of, 17 years. Yet, soon as he has a movie that he directed, funded, black-owned, black-funded, totally destroys the structure of white supremacy in Hollywood. As soon as he decides to do that, to go against the system, and of all ways to do it, make a movie about Nat Turner, a black man who was not taking white supremacy, a black man who was willing to die to fight the same system that was oppressing him, a black man who is going to be filmed killing white people. How do you not see how convenient that is? It's so convenient that after all these movies Nate Parker has been in, no one's ever said anything. But the second that he does something that's revolutionary for Black America, that could totally change the way that we see ourselves, totally change the way that we see us, that others see us, totally change the conversation in Black America, you don't think it's a little convenient that as soon as he steps out of the confines of white supremacy, that then he gets this thing brought up inside of the media, which I said is controlled by white people, is controlled by white supremacists. White supremacy as a structure, white supremacists as individuals. You don't think that's a little bit convenient, and yet you're so gullible that you would go for it. And that's sad and it's disappointing. So I'm not saying that he didn't do it. I'm not saying that he did do it. What I'm saying is be smart. Be smart on the instruments that are being used to divide Black people. There's always been instruments used to divide us. If you don't know that, look up COINTELPRO, look up the war on drugs, look up the prison industrial complex, look up everything, every single thing that the government has done to suppress Black people, and understand that there has always been things that white supremacy will use to divide us. And frankly, we have to be smarter. We cannot jump the gun. You cannot say, oh, I don't support him because of this, which might not be true, number one. And number two, what the hell does that have to do with Nat Turner? Like, what does that have to do with Nat Turner? Exactly. So, again, just be smart is all I'm saying.